Hi, I'm Maryanne Wick, and Fleur MacDonald has invited me to say a few words about my work. We're here today at the Gibson Gallery in Darlinghurst, and the show that's on at the moment, it's works on paper and it's called Paper Trail, and it's curated by Carl Eichert, and Carl invited me to be a part of that, which is great. My practice primarily is painting and drawing, and I create visual diaries, which I have done as a child, well, for years actually. And what I decided to put into this show was a visual diary. I'll introduce you to L'Exotica. L'Exotica is the name of the work, and it's a 16-panel Chinese diary. The diary itself, I bought it in Beijing many years ago. And the work is all hand-drawn. Actually, it's a drawing collage. The paper is from Japan. It's made up of colour pencil as well, and the background is acrylic paint in yellow. I call it Chinese yellow. And basically, I think L'Exotica, it stems from a sense of place, and my work is always about a sense of place. And this in particular, this comes from, well, it evolved from where I live. I live down in the Illawarra. I moved down there about 3 years ago, and it comes from my garden, and we have lizards and lots of bird life and flora. Basically these lizards sit around my studio, because my studio sits in the back of my house. And it's a great thing to have, and so my still life work is now affected by my lizards and that exotic world around me. In addition to this, I think I've also been influenced by my travels. I've travelled for many years, and I've also lived overseas. I've lived in London many years ago, but also in North Asia. Primarily in Korea and in Hong Kong. I've travelled quite extensively to China, and I've spent a lot of time in Japan and also Southern Asia. And I think in many respects I was very heavily influenced by the art in North Asia. And I think in a way L'Exotica, it brings an Australian flavour, Asian flavours and international flavours through the colour and the patterns in the work. The other influence for this piece also stems from my childhood, and as I was doing this piece I was actually creating it on the floor. It made me think a lot about my childhood, and I used to have a pen friend in New Guinea. Her name's Paula, and I had her from about the age of, we were pen friends from about 10 to about 17 years of age, and we traded a lot of letters and stamps and things, and I had this wonderful stamp collection thanks to Paula, and she also had created an Australian stamp collection. But what I'm getting to is the fact that Paula introduced me to the outside world, and it was my first introduction to overseas and the colours and the variation and how people were different. And also I think the stamp collection and trading stamps and putting them into albums was my first taste of collage. So I thought a lot about this when I came to doing this piece. So it's quite endearing to me, and I know at the end of the day it's been a joy to do it. It's moved away from my traditional tonal palette into something more colourful and quite challenging. But I'm very happy with the results, and I think I'll be moving forward with this work probably next year. I have an exhibition coming up this year. It's called Ancestral Ghosts, and it's going to be here at the gallery in November, which is quite different to this, but again it's all about a sense of place, which is what my work's about. But I'll definitely be moving down this path again because it was a joy to do. So thank you very much.